It recently came to my attention that CinemaWins made a lot of the same points in their great new video linked below. It's quite similar, but not exactly the same, and I haven't been able to finish a video in months. So I'm going to go ahead and make this one and hope you can enjoy both videos. You know that feeling when you're getting to the end of a TV show you love and feel like you'll never find something so good? Furthermore, the desire to see another show that, in some way, can capture the magic of the original show. Well, this recently happened to me as I finished watching Ted Lasso. It felt like I was never gonna find something that gave me the same feel as the renowned workplace dramedy. It is a show that delivers comedy, drama, and heart about a group of people trying to better themselves around a common goal. A show with a diverse cast of lovable, complex, and well-written characters. I didn't think another program of the same quality with the same qualities existed until I binged both seasons of The Bear. Obviously, Ted Lasso and The Bear are very different shows that establish distinct tones. However, a few structural similarities connect the shows and point towards why both are so successful. Firstly, there are both the show's workplace settings. Ted Lasso is about the managers, owners, and players of a Premier League soccer or football club. The Bear is built around a struggling restaurant in Chicago. The first thing these settings do for the shows is quickly establish the central goal of each. The goal of the characters in Ted Lasso is to have a successful soccer team and ultimately win the Premier League championship. At the beginning of The Bear, the goal is to maintain a struggling restaurant against nearly impossible odds. The second season keeps the high stakes but follows the same characters as they turn the restaurant into a brand new and higher-end establishment. The protagonists at the center of these stories also share many similarities. Both men are handling a traumatic familial life change and throwing themselves at their work in both healthy and unhealthy ways. In Ted Lasso, the titular character deals with a failing marriage and eventually divorce. The reason he leaves America and goes to England is to give his wife space at her request. This divorce significantly affects Ted because of unresolved feelings about his own father, who died of suicide when Ted was 16. Due to the feeling that his father gave up on him, he has built his life around never giving up on anything or anyone. It's why he feels compelled to stay at a football club for 3 years, coaching a sport he knew nothing about initially. In The Bear, the main character, Carmen, isn't dealing with divorce. Instead, he is grieving the death of his brother, who took his own life. This is compounded by a long history of familial dysfunctionality. The family environment that Carmi is used to is one of anger, resentment, and stress. Growing up, his brother Michael and he would bond over their love of cooking. However, a rift would form between them when Michael took charge of the family restaurant and wouldn't let Carmi help him run it. Feeling rejected by his brother, Carmen threw himself into the high-end culinary world. But all Carmen finds in these kitchens is the same anger, stress, and resentment that has surrounded him his entire life. When his brother dies and leaves the restaurant to him, he creates the only type of environment he knows. His journey in the show is learning to accept the love and support he desperately needs. Both television shows are centered around complex, broken people. However, the shows themselves are made special by their stellar cast of supporting characters. The writing of these shows shines through the care taken in fleshing out every person on screen. Ted's journey never feels more important than the journeys that the people around him are going on. Like the softening of Roy Kent into a man more in tune with his emotions, learning to put his personal feelings aside for the good of the team and his relationships. Or the long road that Rebecca is on, as she learns to not let her emotionally abusive past relationship turn her into somebody who abuses other people's emotions. Jamie starts the show as one of the most unlikable characters of the whole cast, but matures, confronting his own demons and learning to be less selfish. And I could talk all day about the many ups and downs that Nate goes on, but that isn't the point of this video. All the same things can be said about The Bear. This is especially true in the show's second season. While the first batch of episodes needed to focus more on Carmen, they still did a good job in starting the supporting cast on their arcs. Richie is a character who resists the progress that Carmen is trying to make in the restaurant, fearing the change. However, he learns to respect himself and those around him through his love of interacting with and serving people. Tina is similarly resistant to change, however, she discovers a sense of self-worth through challenging herself and her cooking abilities. While the character arcs on The Bear aren't as cut and dry as those in Ted Lasso, the show makes up for it in the subtlety of the performances and the skill of the direction. It's true we don't know much about characters like Ibrahim or Fak, but their unique performances and the Bear's incredible writing makes them feel like real people. Despite these few similarities, the shows are obviously very different. Ted Lasso does not have the sequences of heightened tension that The Bear executes so well. And The Bear doesn't have the heartwarming feel that makes Ted Lasso so addictive to its viewers, nor would I want them to. These are two singular works of art with intelligent and talented people in front of and behind the camera. As media consumers, there's a lot of value in knowing the structural similarities of the art that moves us, and just as much value in knowing what makes each unique.